filmmakers with nothing in common. They thought they had it all figured out. They don't just follow the movies, they make them. Alexander Pavlak, Mario Silvas, and Jamal Alexander are the makers on film.
Hello and welcome to Makers on Film. As always, this is your resident director-writer, Alexander. With me is Jamal Alexander.
Yo.
And Mario I. Silvas.
That's me.
That is you. We're so happy. So I learned something today, or not today, but earlier
That
on.
you have a penis?
No, I've discovered that several weeks ago. No, but recently I just learned something. I learned that I am 3 degrees of separation away from the highest paid prostitute in Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Must
Please
hear
go
this
on.
story.
Please go on.
Must hear it.
So, Heather's sister, Rachel, who I'm going to be in Los Angeles with at the RuPaul Drag Con this coming weekend.
Not gonna ask. Just not gonna ask.
I can explain that later, but I'll go on with this story. So her ex-boyfriend is the ex-husband of this call girl. She charges $400 an hour and was recently arrested, like, I don't know, a month ago or something. And the police declared her the highest charging prostitute in the Minneapolis area.
Wait, what's her name?
Her working name is, I think it's Holly Holiday, formerly known as Veronica Mood. And there is a website out there about her, and you can check her out. She's like 40-something and has had 2 kids. I mean, she looks pretty good for 40-something and having 2 kids, but she does apply a lot of makeup and have her pictures airbrushed, so there is that.
Well, I'm Googling it to see if she's worth, like,
$400?
Yeah.
No.
I'm getting some chick from Glee, Holly Holiday.
And welcome, listeners. This is the first thing that you get to listen to is Jamal looking up a high-priced hooker.
In Minneapolis.
In Minneapolis,
In
Minnesota.
Minneapolis.
Just, you never know what kind of local celebrities you're connected to until you start connecting the dots.
Would you really classify that as local celebrity? No.
Would you not?
I don't know.
She's not a news anchor, but I'm sure a lot of people know her.
Yeah, exactly. You know what's really funny? Every once in a while, an 18-wheeler will drive by, and they're on the closest lane to my house, and my entire house will shake to the point that my windows will rattle. My fucking TV will, like, shift back and forth, and whatever I'm holding onto, or, like, if I'm sitting down on my computer, I can feel my arms move against my computer, like my wrist move against my goddamn laptop.
Interesting. Especially since you're in California and there's a lot of earthquakes. I wouldn't think a truck driving by would be...
You know what? Me too.
Oh, by the way, it's Hillary Holiday.
Yeah, I just figured that. I just found it.
You got that? Yeah.
Did you book her for next week too?
I'm still waiting on the pictures. No, but I just found a picture. No, not $400. The fuck is up with her nose?
I don't know.
You know, people have those.
Yeah, but hers looks weird.
You know, she charges extra for that nose. Some people have a nose fetish, and she specializes in that.
You know, sometimes you just have to go with it.
That's a $400 an hour nose.
All
right, did you hear the sad news?
What?
That this is the last season of American Idol?
Yes, I did hear about that. That made me laugh so goddamn hard.
I thought they were done like 2 years ago.
No. I was wondering when the ratings were going to dip down low enough for them to stop. I thought it was going to be a little bit sooner after Simon left, but I'm not really sad about the American Idol because I didn't really watch it, but I actually did go to a couple of the auditions. But the ex-wife auditioned like 4 times, and she was never good enough to get on the show, but she was never bad enough to get on the show either. And I ended up tagging along with her because, you know, that's what a supportive, you know, husband, boyfriend, whatever I was at the time does. And I think the first time we did it in Cleveland, and we ended up spending the night in Cleveland Stadium. The second time was at Soldier Field in Chicago, and we actually ended up getting into the Natural History Museum there for free, completely separate from the show. We just kind of conned our way into the Natural History Museum, which was awesome because it was like it's right next door to Soldier Stadium, which I didn't even realize.
You know, one of our friends actually was on American Idol, and he was very close to being on air.
Really?
Yep, Mikey.
Really?
Oh yeah.
He sings?
He's a jackass.
There's that too.
Yeah, I mean that because you know they get people on stage because they are jackasses, and they want viewers to look, and they want viewers to watch.
Well, there's that train wreck effect that, you know.
Yeah, exactly. And
so
that's
bad that you have to watch.
And that's why they wanted him. The thing is, he inadvertently messed up because he like crushed his foot, or he like twisted it because he's a big guy and gravity always works against him. And so he was like walking in because he was called back like 3 times. Because it's like 3 or 4 different judges you get to see before, like the producers.
Yeah, before you go see the celebrities.
Yeah, before you go see like Paula, black guy and British guy.
Elvin, Simon, and Theodore.
Thank you. Snap, crackle, and pop for all I care. Yeah. One of the because like everybody loved him. They're like, oh, you're fucking hilarious. They loved him, and so one of the PAs saw him walking around. He was limping, and they're like, oh, do you want a wheelchair? So he's like, yeah, all right, no problem. So he literally rolls into the audition, and then he gets up out of his chair. He does his, I swear to God, he's saying "She Bang," from, was it Ricky Martin? He's saying that, and I actually have video of that somewhere on one of my hard drives. I'll see if I can send it off to you, Alex.
That would be hilarious. That would be great.
Oh, it's fucking hilarious.
Oh, that needs to get uploaded.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely. Oh, yeah. And so he did that, and they're like, look, we love you, but we're afraid that you're going to be popular because you misrepresented handicapped people because you came in with a wheelchair and blah, blah, blah. And he's like, no, I hurt my foot yesterday. He's like, one of your PAs gave me a wheelchair, and he's trying to explain it, and they just dismissed him right then and there.
I would have been all like, I can come in again, not in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
Just
so
do it as like a bumper.
So they told him to go home.
That's so...
Yeah, and he has some hobo stories as well. Well, I think the cat's scratching at my door. He's going to break it. I'll be right back.
Actually, to piggyback on what you were just saying, you know what else this is the last season for? CSI. At least that's the rumor.
The CSI Las Vegas?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, we'll have to stay up to date on that. I thought that one was over too, because I knew they switched leads a couple of times. They had Lawrence Fishburne in there, and then after him they had the guy who played Sam Malone on Cheers. What's his name?
Ted Danson.
Ted Danson, thank you.
Yeah. Well, they haven't announced anything, but the rumor is this is their last season, and I just thought it was kind of weird. They're not as good. They're not as big as they used to be, but they're still like a top 20 show, I believe.
Well, they just started their 4th show, CSI Cyber.
We moved on to CSI.
Yeah, CSI may or may not be getting canceled after this season.
Oh, fucking, it needs to. Yeah. In all honesty, that show needs to be canceled. It's the same thing over and over. The only difference, oh, there's a murderer in New York. Okay. Oh, nope, now there's a murderer in, the swamps of Florida who somehow employed an alligator to do his bidding for him. Like, it's all circumstantial. It's just wherever it is. It's the same thing, just in a different location. That's the only difference.
Yeah, it was fun for a while, but the Las Vegas one has really kind of outlived itself. But let's go right into it. Jabal, why don't you go ahead and explain it? It was your thing. It was your caveat.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hi, kitten.
Hi, Mario.
Hey.
I hate you both. I didn't realize the cat was laying next to me, and it like rolled on its back and then clawed my arm.
I figured. So, my caveat for this week was that we each had to find a movie that had at one point been nominated for the Oscar for Best Movie, but had lost, and we thought should have won.
Oh, I missed that last part.
Okay, so what did you get?
Well, I all I got was watch a movie that was nominated but didn't win.
Well, that's fine. That's fine.
Okay, cool.
We
Then,
can do that too.
all right, just bleep all of that out.
Yeah.
As usual.
So, recently I just watched American Sniper. However, this is all 2015 noms. Or 14? No, 15 noms. Yeah. So, I saw American Sniper. I watched Birdman, Boyhood, Grand Budapest Hotel, Imitation Game, The Theory of Everything. I thought Whiplash was 2014 for some reason, so I didn't watch it, but I'll have to go back to that. And apparently there's one, I missed this one entirely from the Oscar noms. It's Selma with Oprah Winfrey, Christian Coulson, Jeremy Kleiner.
Oh yeah, that's the Dr. Martin Luther King movie.
Yeah, I completely missed that. I don't know how I did, because I actually wanted to see that one. So I'm going to go back and watch that one as well this week. So totally thought Birdman should have won Best Picture. I saw it, and it was the only movie that I was really impressed with. I actually spent I spent quite a bit of time looking at the behind the scene pictures and behind the scene videos and interviews and everything on that movie, because it was theatrical. It was a theatrical play within a movie, and for the most part, that's exactly how it was designed to be. I'm on a lot. I'm on Reddit. It's the for those who don't know what Reddit is, go to it.
You mean those four people out there who don't know what Reddit is?
Yeah, exactly.
I've never been on it, and I know what it is.
Basically, it's a giant forum site where anybody and everybody can go to it, but they're specific web pages to specific things. So you wanted to know about filmmaking, there's a reddit.com filmmaking kind of thing, and so you get to learn a lot of really cool stuff on it. And I was on the location sound portion of that site, and the dude that did the sound mixing for that movie was posting pictures. He was on there, he was telling everybody about it, and it was probably the hardest film that he was saying it was the hardest film he'd ever shot. And it was the hardest film for a lot of the people there. Fucking, what was her name? Emma Stone would show up on set completely frazzled because she didn't know how to do her lines. Because that movie was basically a mockumentary. Mm-hmm. So she would show up, and normally actors show up an hour or two before shooting time to get makeup, to just sit and relax and be able to get into the zone for their character. But she would show up, yeah, exactly. Well, they know their lines, but just a refreshers more than anything else. And she said that she would show up on set and had no idea what to do. And one scene that I actually loved was Zach Galifianakis' character. I can't think of his name right now. I saw Birdman when it first came out. But he showed up 15 minutes late to set, and they were actually mid-take. And his character was supposed to burst into, what's his name?
Michael Keaton.
Keaton, thank you. I was like Michael Crenshaw, I couldn't think of his last name, but Michael Keaton's dressing room. And he said, because he plays his agent, and he's supposed to be freaking out and just, we need to do this, blah, 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 and he's going for it. Well, the thing is, he actually showed up late to set, and mid-take, ran in, did his lines, freaked out. And that was his legitimate reaction, was him freaking out because of this scene. I forget what it is at this point. But it was so genuine, and it added to the way that film was shot. So I honestly believe that Birdman should have won and did win Best Picture for that year.
What would have been your
So,
your second choice then for that year?
oh, Grand Budapest Hotel. Fucking Wes Anderson. He's a great director, and just the characters that were in that movie were just so quirky and so funny. Not like that, but it's a Wes Anderson film, so you know you're gonna have fun and you're gonna be entertained all the time. You know, the story was there, and it was fun. Like there was nothing else to it other than it was a really fun movie. You know, it took you out of the dregs of your shitty life if you have one, or the fact that you're unemployed, or little things like that. It was a great movie to go have that film experience, that theater experience again. I mean, shit. Personally, I saw Grand Budapest 6 times in the theaters, unintentionally, but I saw it 6 times in the theaters.
How did you unintentionally see it 6 times?
He kept tripping and falling through the doors.
Yeah, I was just in and out, in and out. First time I went to go see it myself with some friends. That was planned. Second time I actually went back home. My sister wanted to go see it. Third time, another friend from here in California wanted to go see it, and it just kept going like that. So I actually saw it with different people all 6 times, but I saw that movie 6 times in a row.
See, I've never been a big Wes Anderson fan. Most of his movies I find kind of boring.
Really?
Yeah, I haven't seen Grand Budapest yet. I did like the trailers for it. It's visually stunning. It's the
Yeah.
color, the art direction, the cinematography. It's shot beautifully. It looks amazing. Every scene looks like it could be a postcard.
It was.
Yeah, but for me, the stories, I get kind of bored watching them.
Really?
Yeah.
Let's see.
It's just too. His movies are just too stylized for my taste, to be honest,
Hmm.
and not enough. I like films like The Wrestler, which is almost half documentary, half scripted movie, where it's basically just one camera following a guy. The more realistic, the better for me.
Okay. So you're like more documentary based kind of thing.
Yeah.
I gotcha. Fucking dude, I'm going over Wes Anderson stuff right now. Grand Budapest, like these are the ones that I've seen of his. Grand Budapest, Moonrise Kingdom, Fantastic Mr. Fox, Hotel Chevalier. It's a short, but it's really good.
What was that one with Gene
13.
Hackman?
Oh,
Superman?
Lordy.
Wes Anderson, Superman?
That was Wes
Yeah.
Anderson, yeah.
Um,
The Royal Tenenbaums. The Royal Tenenbaums.
Tenenbaums. There we go.
See, I did like the Fantastic Mr. Fox. I did see that one. That one was enjoyable. I did like the story on that one.
That was my least favorite of his films, but it was still enjoyable.
Really? Why was that your least favorite? Because it was a
I
cartoon?
don't know. It just didn't. It was one of those movies that I enjoyed. Don't get me wrong, but it's like, okay, I saw it once, but I'm never gonna go out of my way to see it again.
This is nitpicking, but his like he has the same choice in color palette every time he does a movie, and
Yes, he does.
it really just the colors he chooses just are the exact opposite of anything I want to see. I mean, it's a little thing, but it bugs me when I watch his movies.
He's very artistically inclined more than anything else. So his pre-production work is years and years and years in advance. To the point that he's drawing out schematics on this specific window frame has to be blue, and the one 3 over from it specifically has to be 4 shades darker than the previous one. It's just little things like that he goes crazy for. But if you ever see Moonrise Kingdom, I think it's that one, right?
I've seen
Moonrise Kingdom.
I've seen it.
Have you okay, that was a fantastic way for him to show off, because it was. Yeah, Alex, have you seen that one yet?
No, I haven't.
Okay, I would actually recommend that one. It's coming of age-ish tale, but it's this very quirky, very lovable, upbeat movie. It's really cute. I'll give it that.
Yeah, I have seen it, and the reason that one doesn't bug me as much as the other of his stuff, I think, is because he shoots it outside a lot. There's still that weird thing the camera's doing where it looks like it's an older film, like it was made like a few decades earlier.
Right.
Right, but that movie did not bug me so much. Maybe some of the
Okay.
narrative there kind of bugged me, and I love Bill Murray when he's being a comedian a la SNL, but his
Yeah.
character in that one just it's really hard for me to relate to any of his characters in Tenenbaum, or in Wes Anderson films.
Mm.
It's just a little too quirky, and I'm not exactly sure where he's trying to where his humor is trying to go or where it's coming from. It's a little too left of right, I guess.
Honestly, his stuff is so off the cuff, but because it's so just out there, I think that's why I enjoy it so much, because it's so funny and weird all at the same time. It's not even like a dark humor. It's just like it's a dry humor. That's what it really is, and it kills me. I love his work so much. I haven't seen all of it. Don't get me wrong. I think his oldest one I've seen is Royal Tenenbaums. Um, yeah, Royal Tenenbaums was probably the first film I ever saw of his. Um, Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou, which I honestly bought the first day that um, it came out on DVD. I didn't even realize it
That,
was Wes
that was,
Anderson at the time.
yeah, I was about to say that is Wes Anderson. I completely
Yeah.
forgot about that.
Yep.
Hey, so I'm looking up Wes Anderson's like filmography and stuff.
Yeah.
Him and Tarantino, man, they went from 0 to 100 like in the blink of an eye.
Oh yeah, they did.
Bottle Rocket to Rushmore.
Yeah.
I mean, damn. Like some people work their whole careers or live an entire life before actually making it big. Some guys just do it like the first time they try. Like Zack Snyder, who we were talking about last week. He started directing in his 40s. This kid, he does it in '96. He does a little film called Bottle Rocket with Owen Wilson, and 2 years later, he's directing Bill Murray in Rushmore.
I remember Rushmore when that came out.
I remember it too.
I never saw Rushmore.
I tried watching it. That was the first one I tried watching, and I got maybe a third of the way through it and had to turn it off. But it was a pretty popular film. I mean, I remember the advertisement for it. I remember, that it was kind of a big deal. It stayed at the theaters for a couple weeks. So, yeah, you're right. He goes from zero to everything. And you're right. What's his face? Tarantino did that, and Robert Rodriguez did that.
Yeah. I mean, I read the Rodriguez book. Oh God, I can't think of anything tonight. I am so sorry, guys.
I think the Rodriguez thing was just pure impressed how he did it. I mean, he was a one-man production team.
Yeah.
It was the cost that he made a movie, put it into a film festival, and it was a decent movie, and he only made it for like $7,000. He made it for
it was something crazy cheap.
Yeah, he tells a story that he went to some foreign country, some Middle Eastern country or something, and he gets into a taxi and they start driving. He's talking to the taxi driver, and the taxi driver asks him his name, and he's like, Robert Rodriguez. Like, that's not a common name out here. And the taxi driver's like, oh, are you the guy who made that movie for $7,000?
Yeah.
That's all that matters.
Yeah, is that, and if you've seen El Mariachi, it's actually a pretty impressive film. It's very comprehensive. The acting's a little subpar, and the cinematography is a little janky. But if you actually just watch the movie and watch the story, it's very well told.
No, it's a very enjoyable movie. It's like my friends and I, we did whatchamajigger, indie night. So we got some of the best indie films that we could possibly think of, and we decided to just watch them all. And we watched El Mariachi for like the second or third one. I mean, we did like 8 movies back to back during that day, and we watched El Mariachi, and we're like, guys, this is completely doable. The turtle shot or the tortoise shot, that was actually Rodriguez's tortois.
I have a tortoise like that.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. I forgot you do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was all little things. Oh, see, we can shoot a movie right now.
We'll just do it all from the turtle's point of view.
Oh, so we're just going to strap a GoPro to him, hit record, and then come back 20 hours later?
Yes. We'll have gold at that point.
Oh, yeah. But he said you can't teach a tech person to be creative, but you can teach a creative person how to be technological or how to be tech
Technical.
worthy. Yeah,
Tech
technical. Savvy. Thank you guys. Which I honestly think is completely true. You know, if you're struggling with something and you can't figure it out, you literally have Google's amount of information in front of your fingertips.
Yeah.
I mean, how many of us have smartphones?
Yeah.
I do. Exactly. You know, you can be out on set. I mean, it's not very professional, but we're all starting out. So you're on set and you're just like, oh shit. I remember seeing this one thing this one time, but what was it? Hold on, guys. And you go look it up on Google really quick. You come back and you got your answer.
Well,
Everybody take 5. I have to watch this YouTube tutorial on how to do this scene.
well, while we're waiting for that, I was actually going to mention he went from 0 to 100 real quick. Wes Anderson, but I think he got knocked back down to earth with the Royal Tenenbaums. Like it was a good movie. I hear it was a pain to work with Hackman on it. In fact, it caused him a lot of mental distress.
Mm.
Gene Hackman just seems like a dick in real life. The more I hear about him.
I mean, I hear that all the time about Bruce Willis, but people keep working with him, and he still keeps chunking out.
Yeah, everybody keeps working with him.
Everybody keeps working on films that are based around him, and he's just there for the paycheck.
Well,
it's not like he's doing anything really good lately. When was the last really good thing he did was a Wes Anderson film. What was it? Moonrise Kingdom.
Who, Hackman?
No, Willis.
Bruce Willis.
Bruce Willis. Like you don't hear like big name directors like Nolan or the guy that did The Wrestler. Oh, that's gonna.
Oh shit. Yeah, I'm like, oh fuck, I just saw that one.
A Spielberg or somebody like that. Nobody's knocking on Bruce Willis's door now because
Aronofsky.
Aronofsky, that guy's great, by the way.
Yeah.
I fucking love his film. You know what? I actually haven't seen Noah yet. He did that, and I'm kind of curious how he does with a big budget.
Noah? Oh, I will warn you when you're going into Noah. It's not the Christian Bible story of Noah. It's the Jewish Torah version of Noah.
That's fine. I'm not really there for religious purposes. I'm there for cinematic purposes.
Yeah, but a lot of people, a lot of Christians went to go see Noah thinking it was the Christian story, like, the 10 Commandments or, the greatest story ever told or whatever. But they got something completely different. They thought it was all science fiction-y, and they thought it was, supposed to be allegory to the Middle East or something like that. And it's just, that's the story in the Jewish Bible. And he's Jewish, and that's the story he told because that's the story he knows.
I'm sorry, if anybody is going to a movie theater on opening weekend, and it's for a blockbuster summer thing based on a Bible story, thinking that they're going to get exactly what's in the Bible, then that's your fault for being stupid, to be honest with you.
It's not stupidity, it's misinformation more than anything else.
Oh no, you should be able to tell. If this is coming out during the same season as things like the Avengers and Ant-Man, it's probably not going to be very faithful to the
source material.
Yeah.
Well, of course.
No, but Christians are like that. They see that and they think one thing, and they literally think one thing, and when it's not that, they get all freaked out about it.
I have no problem with movies being geared towards Christians. I feel for them. It's coming on the day where they're put down for believing what they believe. I have no problem with them, getting movies for themselves. I have no problem with a movie like God's Not Dead, turning $60 million in theaters. I just, in that particular scenario where they went to a movie that, by the way, everybody has Google now, and they should have Googled Darren Aronofsky, Noah, and known that movie was probably not going to turn out like the Bible version of it.
Yeah, people don't do the homework like they should.
Yeah, I'm sorry, it's their fault.
So, have you guys ever heard of a movie, How Green Was My Valley?
Heard of, yes.
No, I haven't.
Okay, but you never saw it?
No.
Okay.
No.
I think this was some sort of period piece, cowboy-esque movie. It won the 1941 Oscars, the 14th annual Oscars. And
How Green Was My Valley?
How Green Was My Valley.
Okay.
And this seemed to be a common theme in my research for this topic. I've noticed that there was a lot of movies that won the Academy Award that kind of go into obscurity, but the other nominees were movies that had the staying power. The movie that should have won that year but didn't due to a
Wait,
lot.
wait, wait. Can I guess? Can I guess?
Sure.
The Searchers.
No.
Damn.
Wasn't The Searchers 60s?
No, I thought that was a. Okay, so I might be flipping my decades here.
The 50s maybe. But no, the movie, did you want to guess, Mario?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
Gone with the Wind.
No, still not the 40s, but
Damn it!
the movie that should have won but didn't win because of political reasons, and a lot of people didn't like the director because he became too big for his britches, was Citizen Kane.
Wait,
Oh,
Citizen Kane did not win the Oscar?
No,
no, it didn't.
it
Oh.
tanked at the box office and it didn't win the Oscar because he wasn't giving the studio what he said he would give them. And they got really ticked off with him, and they didn't advertise his movie, so nobody knew about it. Nobody went to go see it. They snubbed him at the Oscars to try to put him in his place and show him that if you don't play ball, you don't get the rewards. But he did so much innovative things in that movie. He was one of the first guys to do an upward angle shot, and because the tripods were basically a standard thing, he had to cut a hole in the stage to get the tripod and the camera low enough to do that upward angle. And he did a lot of stuff in that movie that nobody did, and he got no recognition for it. And the movie that won, like I said, goes into obscurity.
Yeah, and to go along with that, one thing that he did do that I thought was actually really cool, he did a split diopter lens, so he was able to get not super deep, but he was able to get different focal lengths on people, and everything was in focus. Also, for a lot of his other films, he did he would reshoot on different planes of film to get these super massive depth shots that were completely inconceivable at that time with film.
Yeah, he was a pioneer, but he was also a jerk, so nobody liked him. So
Right.
he never really got the accolades that he deserved. But the movie that I want to talk about that I think should have won the Oscar that didn't, 1981, the 54th annual Oscars. The movie that won was Chariots of Fire. And the only thing I remember about that movie is guys running on the beach in their underwear and the music playing.
Dun, 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 dun.
Exactly. And the movie that I think should have won, that I think just was an all-around better movie in almost every aspect, was Raiders of the Lost Ark.
That is just so you. That pick is just so you.
You know what? I was going to go with 1977 and say Star Wars should have won over Annie Hall, but I don't like Woody Allen, so I believe anybody should win over Woody Allen. But no, I mean, Raiders was a tight movie. It was tight editing. The acting was spot on. There was no lull points in the story. There was never a point in the story where you looked at your watch and thought, "Is this almost over? I need to go refill my popcorn." Okay, the entire thing, even when they got to the submarine, and that's about the slowest point, right before the Nazis take away the Ark again, and even like the exposition is done well and doesn't feel like clunky dialogue just to tell you what's going on, and the irony in the film is it's poignant, and they did a lot of things right in that movie, and it won some awards. It did like all the technical stuff, like Spielberg and Lucas always get the technical stuff, but it never got any of the artistic stuff, and I think it really got robbed that year. I think it was a well better movie. I think it was just a more enjoyable movie.
Hang on. Chariots of Fire, Rotten Tomatoes 84%. Let's do. I'm looking up Raiders right now.
I bet you that's in the 90s.
Really?
Yeah.
That's your legitimate guess, 90s.
I'll say like 93, 95, somewhere in that.
Okay. Hang on. Damn ads popping up everywhere.
All that porn you watch, boy.
Well, no, I have that on a split screen though.
The porn.
Yeah,
That's how much porn he watches, ladies and gentlemen.
like as in a split screen right now. Oh God, I hate this computer, man. I gotta get a new computer.
You hear the way he moans all the time. Oh God.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh,
It's a goddamn
so
computer.
slow. Why am I going back to wiki right? Oh.
Yeah, see, I can't tell if that's just him thinking or if that's him, rubbing one out.
I think he's twisting one out.
Twisted.
You've just clued him into a whole new way to masturbate, Mario.
Apparently, I guess you didn't realize you can.
How have you been doing this whole time?
Dude, it's your body. You can do what you want with it.
We heard the excitement in his voice, twisting. Ooh.
Twisted.
He's like, oh, I've never done that before.
I wonder if there's a tutorial video about that.
This is new. I am typing this into my Pornhub. All right, you said 93?
93, 95, somewhere in there.
Bullshit, you are looking at your computer.
No, I'm not.
95%.
Is it?
Yeah.
Nice.
See, it's an all the indie movies aren't going to get that. I know that, but the first one they did, it was just spot on. It was everything that they ever wanted to do, and I don't think any of the other ones lived up to that. But I don't think the third one is as good as everybody claims it to be. I saw a lot of stuff on there that just looked like bad green screen and bad CGI, even for the time.
What was the third one again?
Last Crusade with Sean Connery in it.
Oh, that's right.
And I love Sean Connery being in that, and he was the perfect person to choose for Indy's dad. It was brilliant, but I felt it lacked in some places. And I think Crystal Skull gets a bad rap. I don't think it's the greatest Indiana Jones movie ever, but I think that just because it's aliens instead of something biblical, it should not be disregarded for its theories, because those are the theories of the Crystal Skull, and everything they've done is based in some sort of mythology in a specific religion.
Yeah. I'll admit, I enjoyed Alien Indy. It was fun.
Yeah. So anyway, last one up. What was your movie that you thought should have won the Oscar that didn't?
1999 movie of the year was Shakespeare in Love. The movie it beat out that I thought should have really won, Saving Private Ryan, which is always going to be the first movie I bring up in these kinds of conversations because it's my favorite movie. I've always felt that anything that has Shakespeare's name involved in it or kind of like tagged onto it gets more praise than it deserves, gets hyped up a little more than is necessary.
I can tell you exactly why Shakespeare in Love won.
Why?
Usually the movies that are made that get nominated for an Academy Award fall into one of three categories, and movies in general kind of fall into one of three categories. There's movies that are made for the masses, which is what Michael Bay built his career on. There's movies made for people who enjoy movies. And, like Wes Anderson is kind of that guy. He does make movies for people who enjoy movies. And then there's movies that are made for filmmakers, which is kind of why Birdman won the Academy Award this last year, because it was really a movie made about making movies, but it was a play in that situation. And that's what Shakespeare in Love was. And I saw a little bit of it. I didn't see the whole thing, but it was Shakespeare as a producer, writer, trying to put a play together. And it was mirrored Hollywood all the way to the point where Shakespeare had a therapist that he went to. It was some sort of magician or mage or something like that, but it was a therapist that he went to talk about his problems with.
It should say something that me as a huge movie fan can't get through that entire movie. I watch it and I can't finish it. I've always felt that movie won because if Gwyneth Paltrow put together a great performance, then she put together a great performance and deserved to win, whatever. Mm-hmm. That performance plus a bunch of really good set pieces does not make a great movie.
No, but like I said, it was a movie made for people who make movies, and that's the reason why it won, because everybody appreciated that, because everybody saw themselves in it, and that's who votes for the movies.
Seeing yourself relating to characters is one thing. When you watch like the D-Day scene in Saving Private Ryan, you have to appreciate just the amount of effort and time and actual work that went behind creating that particular scene. I mean, that heaven and earth was moved to make that scene look as realistic as it was. I mean, I've yet to see anything put on screen that rivaled the sort of visceral uh, realism and just the aesthetic quality of that scene. I mean, it's one of the most jarring things ever placed on film for me, or at least in a scripted film, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, Saving Private Ryan is the equivalent of building for movies is the equivalent of building like one of the tallest skyscrapers in the world. I mean, it is incredibly difficult to get everything that in that movie to look the way it does, to look like it's the 1940s, to look like it's Europe being bombed, to look like to get the details in the uniforms and in even down to the accents that the guys were using, all of that. It is a massive undertaking, and I thought it lost out because another movie was catered to a pretentious voting panel that just happened to like the set pieces, and I guess they were all drama nerds in schools and voted for something like Shakespeare.
Yeah, exactly.
See, I'm honestly gonna have to agree with Jamal on that one. I went to go see Private Ryan in the theaters. Like, it wasn't opening day, but I saw it in the theaters, and to the point that there were vets that were there during the raid and during the initial drop off for everybody, who were like crying, like full grown men were seeing these things and they were crying about because it was essentially what they saw and what they realized or what they were
what they lived through.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And to the point that I heard a couple of them talking outside. They're like, wow, like one of them had a flashback and was like freaking out about it, and another one was like, look, dude, everything is okay. He's like, the only thing that's different is that basically he was saying the smell.
Yeah,
like,
I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It comes down to these voting things, and I'm gonna kind of digress and then come back in a sec. Like every morning I wake up and there's like a certain radio station on, and it's always a conservative radio station, and they're always complaining about how Hollywood is a liberal media and all of that. There's a little truth to what they're saying. Most of those kids come up. Most of the people working in Hollywood come up, and they're in the theater program, in the writing programs. They're very much those kids, the liberal kids, the drama nerds or whatever. Letting them vote on stuff is only going to get you one perspective.
Oh yeah.
It's only going to favor movies like Shakespeare in Love, and movies like Birdman. Whereas another person would look at American Sniper and go, and argue the same thing I argued for Saving Private Ryan. It took the amount of effort and technicality that went into that movie outweighs whatever little innovative things they were doing in Birdman. They may be right, they may be wrong. I happen to disagree. But certain movies will fare better with them. That doesn't necessarily make their opinion about that movie better or right.
I know what you're saying, and that's why we have so many different award shows. Because if your movie's good, it will win something, Or if your movie's bad, it'll win a Razzie or a Rotten Tomato.
They should really start airing the Razzies. I would watch those.
That would actually be kind of fun, especially if the actors and everybody went to them.
Halle Berry actually showed up to accept hers in person.
I would.
I would too.
An award's an award. I'm putting that on my mantle.
Oh, fuck that. If you win a Razzie, people care about what you're doing.
Yeah.
Like, they're watching your movies.
There's no such thing as bad press.
Like, you made it.
Should get it for Catwoman.
Yeah, she did, actually.
Oh, we'll just get it big.
All right. We should probably wrap this up.
Cool.
So I'll pick a movie for us to review.
Something that was actually in theaters.
Oh, actually, no. It's a HBO documentary, so this may or may not be easy to find for you guys.
Then don't suggest it.
No, I have to because this is in lieu of Mother's Day.
What?
No, I'll explain in a minute why I'm
I've tried looking for HBO docs before. They're incredibly difficult to find.
This one might be easy. It was actually a pretty popular one. It's called Twist of Faith, and it's the story about this guy. It's 2009, I think. No, it was before that. 2002, 2007, somewhere in that time frame. It's about this guy who, when in high school, was molested by a priest, and now in 2000 whatever, he's suing the archdiocese for the molestation that happened and all the mental anguish. Now, the reason why I'm suggesting this in because of Mother's Day is because I know this guy, and we weren't best friends or anything, it wasn't anything like that, but we went to the same high school together. He was a year ahead of me. I know who this guy is.
Did you guys talk?
A little bit. I mean, I knew who he was. He probably knew who I was. We talked a little bit, but we never we didn't run in the same circles or anything. I was in the band. He did whatever he did. He went to a retreat, a religious retreat sponsored by the school, and I wanted to go to it. And I talked to my parents about this, and I remember.
Boy, did you luck out!
And I remember my mom saying, "No, you can't go to that. There's not going to be supervision there. There's no parents. There's no anything like that. So you can't go to it." And I said, what's the worst that can happen? It's, a bunch of priests. What's the worst that can happen? And she was just all like, yeah, no, you're not going. So my mom literally saved my ass that day.
Giggity. That just makes me think like all the old, like the previous generations, the older generations knew about that kind of stuff and just kind of like let it slide. Like it's all right, kid. It builds character.
But the thing is that sometimes your parents do stuff and they say it's for your own good, and you never see it. Once in a great while, you see it way down the line, and that's what happened here. And this is a story that I watched, and I watched it from a very unique perspective because that could have been me. That could have happened to me on that retreat. And I thank God that it didn't, and I thank God that my mother, saw what was really going on and said no to that. And it wasn't something that I was dying to go to. It wasn't like I was uber religious. Just there are times that something pops up and I'm like, that might be an interesting experience. Let's see what that's about. So when she said no, I wasn't heartbroken about it. But, had she said yes, I would have gone. So that's the movie I'm going to suggest. If you guys can find it, by all means, watch it. If not, it's probably on Amazon. I'm sure I'll look for it there.
Text me the name of it again, because I'm not going to remember it.
Text both of us.
I'll definitely do that. It's but again, it's called Twist of Fate, and it's an HBO documentary, and it touched me in not that way though.
Oh, hey, before we go any further, can you edit this into like the actual show? If you guys listening at home have certain movies sci-fi movies you think should have been nominated or should get more respect, let us know.
Oh yes, definitely. You can go, thank you for segueing into this, to our website, mof.ninja. You can catch up old shows there. You can see the show reports there. You can find links to the movies that we're talking about there. And you can go ahead and leave comments there. Or you can find us on Stitcher, and you can find us on iTunes.
The fuck is Stitcher?
It's iTunes for people who don't have Apple products.
Mostly just comment and tell us which one of us is your favorite, because that's really all that matters to me. I just want to know where I stack up against these other two guys.
Basically, it's a popularity contest is what Jamal wants, and he wants to be the popular girl for one.
It's funny to me that the guy who probably be the least popular on the show is the one who wants to know how popular he is.
That's all I want to know. I just want confirmation.
Okay, if I'm ever more popular than Jamal, dude, I owe you $1.
I think you owe him a beer if you're more popular than him.
Yeah.
Because he will definitely need it at that point.
I have terrible
Nice
self-esteem issues. Please love me instead.
So you can go to MOF Ninja and vote for the needy guy by giving your love to Jamal.
Please.
Yeah, just send us a little message how good Jamal is and how pretty his hair is. And
tell me I look slimmer.
he did work out before the show, so he's all glistening with sweat from his workout.
Oh, that's right. That's why he was like 20 minutes late.
20 minutes? I was like 15 minutes late, tops.
Child, please.
Well, okay, let's look at what we do. Jamal's the actor, so of course he wants to be liked and popular. I'm the director, so of course I want to be liked and popular. You're the sound guy. Who gives a fuck about the sound guy?
Exactly. That's why I'm making fun of you guys.
You're just trying to get tickets somewhere.
Who, me?
No, Mario.
Mario?
Yeah. I want autographs and selfies. That's Mario's motivation. Autographs and selfies.
There is a selfie of Mario on his Facebook page of him and Fabio.
Get the fuck out of here.
Oh God, that's right. I totally forgot about that.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
It's there. Look for it. Facebook.com/Mario I Silvis.
How do you even know who Fabio is?
How do you not know who Duck to the Face Man is?
Okay, now I know how you know who Fabio is.
Because Mario, after reading all of the Babysitters Club's book, moved over to the Harlequin romance books.
Hours of touching myself to Gem.
The cartoon? I'm sure you mean.
Yes, the cartoon.
This is the soundtrack to his life.
Yes. Okay. So thank you for joining us. As always, thank you for joining us, Mario and Jamal.
Nah.
Yep.
No, I thank you. I mean, I guess you don't have to accept my thanks.
Well, see, you say that, but I don't feel it.
I appreciate you coming on the show for the 45 minutes that we make fun of you, and
I was coming everywhere on this show.
That you make fun of us and the things you do behind the scenes, quote unquote.
There's a fucking baby crying somewhere in my... Oh, it's my next door. My crazy neighbors.
That's his way of saying, yeah, you're welcome, buddy.
And on that note, we say good night.
Good night.
Later, guys.
Join the makers each week as they discuss film, TV, and pop culture. To learn more about them, go to mof.ninja. This is John Cleese saying goodbye.